Welcome back to my garage. This whole week, since the previous video, has been pretty tense up until yesterday. And the reason is a guy or girl, probably guy, it doesn't matter. Ikata9528 commented on my latest video and he noticed, I'll phrase him, I noticed in the dyno graphs the dyno seems to think you are still generating significant power when the wheel is coasting down with a clutch in. The amount seems to be around 1.5 to 2 newtons at the engine speed, would amount to 1.5 to 5 horsepower or 11 to 15 newton at the roller. I can't believe I haven't noticed, and it's weird nobody else has noticed too. Well, first of all, I have no clue what happened with that coast down run. My only explanation would be that there's maybe a bolt or something fell into one of the big bearings or something jammed in the wheel bearings, something like that. Because looking at the graphs there, this is the coast down graph, so this is the measured dyno torque, measured torque at the roller, no corrections, no anything, measured torque when coasting down. That's the coast down run. And then here's the only run I could find where I actually let the engine coast down a far ways after that. And so that's one of the recent runs from last week. And look how the losses during coast down are much lower. And then watch when I add in all these other runs. And I could add all of them. And they're all the same. Watch how the coast down losses, I aborted them here so you can't see the whole thing. But look how they pretty much follow that curve and not that one. So that coast down run, that's the only one reporting. The curve is the same. It's just something made it have lots more losses the whole way down. And I have no clue. Like, it has to be some kind of an anomaly or something jammed, something rubbed. I have no clue why. But that skewed all my results from last week. And it made the 30 horsepower readings actually closer to 25. And I was super bummed out. After he pointed this out, it's now easy to confirm that the losses are correct within reason. Because now we can see that the graph has to follow the 0 point down for the losses to be correct, of course. So what's happening in this video is I'm gonna remove, I gotta make sure everything's okay. So a new coast down, but this time I'm removing that speedway tire because the losses in that speedway tire, as you will see, are immense. I'm rebuilding the setup to a pure engine dyno, and I'm adding up all the chains and all the inertias and stuff and just making it super accurate. Actually, I'm having AI confirm the calculations for me because as you will also see, I'm pretty stupid when it comes to simple calculations later on. On with the show!
Unpredictable machines stealing all my dreams. Speedway tire made me lose my mind. Now I'm leaving it behind. Oh, oh, oh. Tears grind, but they miss the groove. Smoke clouds and I barely move. Twostrokes got a song to sing, but the dyno's off, it lost the swing.
Looks like the tool is fine, everything's fine, but I was a little bit more of an aggressive cut than what I expected. So obviously a 0 is wrong here, or I've done something wrong with my tool pad. I have to go inside and check. What happened was in the cam software I had 0 at the top of these, like in the clearance for these, because that's how I made the setup model. It should be fixed now.
Gotta build it new, gotta make it clean. Chase the numbers, chase the sea. Unpredictable machine, stealing all my dreams. Speedway tire made me lose my mind. Now I'm leaving it.
Forgot to press record. It's a little tight, so I'll give it a slight little skim in the lathe and I'll be back. Remember when I took that far too huge of a cut and semi-crashed the mill? I thought, well, maybe I should re-zero after that. And then I thought, it hasn't moved. And it had moved. And the bore is too tight still. The problem is the bore is not centered in relation to the sprocket. That's not really a huge problem, because my plan is there's a register here. That's because I'm going to use this sprocket to get a better ratio. I'm going to create a new register on this side. Oh, it's a great opportunity to bring out my Mitutoyo huge calipers. I just had to knock down the burrs, and now it's a good fit.
Organ hums like a midnight tune. Pistons dance on the silver moon. Lay the bass line, let it glide. Find the rhythm, let it ride.
The frame is pretty much done now. I'm gonna reassemble the clutch. I'm not gonna hook this chain up yet. We're gonna clean up the area and then we're gonna bring the death trap onto the dyno and use that to spin it up and do a coast down with the chain and the clutch and everything, but no chain on here. That should give us good coast down readings without any interference from anything, and hopefully this time there's no weirdness going on. It hasn't been for every run I've done except for that coast down run, so I think we'll be fine. And we can easily see that in the graphs if coasting down hovers at higher than around 0. Hopefully there's room now with the frame bits on there. I might do some creative engineering to get the bike up there. I've managed to prop the death trap up here, and the plan, as I did last time, is to add the strap here, and at roller top speed we're gonna lift the bike off the roller and let it coast down. I've added up the inertia of the roller, the new sprocket assembly, and the clutch, the chain. So the inertia is correct, and now we should get correct coast down data. And if it isn't correct, we'll see that in the graphs. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone back home, because if this falls off and gets tangled down there, then we have a problem, because I have my foot through a loop. So hopefully that doesn't happen. If it does, it's been great. Thanks for following for all these years. Gotta do another one. I set the bike down at around, well, you can see it here, 280, because, well, such an awkward position to hold it up in. Considerably lower loss without that wheel on there. I reran the data with the correct gear ratio for the bike, the coast down losses added in, and environmental correction. And first of all, you can see how now our coast down hovers around 0 the whole way down. And we made 17.77 horsepower at the wheel. I didn't really pin it properly, but that makes more sense for that bike with that engine versus the 13 horsepower we saw last time we dynoed it. 13.3 I think we saw. So there's probably a little more power than this if I do a proper run, but now you know. And now you can see how our losses should be perfectly correct. Okay, let's see how much power my engine actually makes properly. In the software, and I think it's running there's far too little resistance for proper power runs, I think. We'll see. I might have to switch out that sprocket for a smaller one. A brain fart there, the ratio is 14, which is far too much, but so we'll have to use a smaller sprocket. That brain fart happened days ago, otherwise I would have sourced a much smaller sprocket. We'll see if the RPM is correct, and we'll try a run, but it'll be far too fast to get any sensible reading. I had smoothing to 0, so we had some spikes there. You can clearly see the problem. Well, it's spinning far too fast. I just had to let off. Okay, so we need half the ratio. Then we'll be golden. Half the ratio. Motor sprockets. Okay, let's try that again. New ratio of 6.5, and now it's the correct ratio without retard mistakes. That's the last fuel I've got. I've got some pure nitro, so I'm gonna get some methanol and mix up, I think I can mix up like 8 liters. That's it for now. So let's hope there's nothing else wrong here and we can get a proper reading. I'll be able to do a warm-up and then 2-3 runs and that's it. So let's make this count. not sure what's going on with the chain there. And I need a brake now. Brake for the dyno. I wonder if this moved. Yeah. I need more attachment points here. I'll drill some holes straight through. Well, let's turn the noise off. We managed to get one proper run in before everything got loose there. I need to put in some more bolts here and there to make it more stiff. And I can also see how the whole dyno frame is flexing. And that's because the central beam, that's the spine, isn't connected except for at the ends to the side, the footboards or whatever, the step boards. So I'm gonna brace that up a little more to make it stiffer. It was never meant to mount something off of them like that. But anyways, we got a proper run in, and usually the engine makes more power after 2-3 runs. But well, first let's look at the coast down data. First of all, you can see the return hovers around 0. And 31.97 horsepower, 32 horsepower from 50cc at the crank. Now we're talking at the crank here. The inertias, and this is with 98% chain efficiency for both chain stretches, so 0.98 times 0.98. And 0.98 would be a perfect condition for perfect alignment, perfect chain, perfect lubrication, perfect perfect tension, everything perfect, and it isn't, but we're going for perfect. So 32 horsepower at the crank, that's what we're making. I can keep my crown on. 32 horsepower at the crank, 50cc. And I'm out of fuel, and the fuel is full of water, probably. But I've got 2.5 liters of pure nitromethane. So, and a friend, Per, my land speed pilot, has a bunch of methanol that doesn't contain water. So we're gonna go and I'm gonna mix up, I can mix up 8 liters of 25% nitro like we've been running now. And it should be better than the fuel we've been running up until now. Because it hasn't been sitting in an open container, half full open container for several years, 3 years in the humid environment out here. 32 horsepower at the crank. That's not bad. Not bad at all. See you next time.